Welcome to another nomadic yoga class. Today's class is going to be dedicated to awakening the core. So before we begin, we're just going to stand at the center of our mat. Our big toes come to touch. We're going to close our eyes, bring our hands together, heart center, and just breathe. Try to understand how balanced or unbalanced we feel today. And accept it. Bringing our awareness into our bodies and mind. When you're ready, open your eyes and we're going to start by taking a stretch. So interlace your fingers and start making your way onto your right side. Inhale, come to center, and then take that stretch over to the left side. Let's give our spine a twist, so feel free to wiggle your torso from one side and then to the other in circular motions and get to the top of your mat so we're ready to start. Then exhale, you're going to bring your hands together, heart center. Inhale, arms go up. Take a slight back bend. Exhale, you're going to fold forward. You're going to inhale, create space, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. You're going to take your feet back, high plank. Make sure your shoulders are on top of your wrists. Exhale, chaturanga. With an inhale, upward facing dog. Push the ground away from you with your hands. With an exhale, we're going to go on to downward facing dog. Look between your ankles, let your head fall loose. With an inhale, you're going to take your right foot up. With an exhale, you're going to bring it forward between your hands. You're going to inhale, take a brief crescent lunge, and with an exhale, bring your hands back down to the mat. Then exhale, bring the other foot forward, and halfway lift. Forward fold. And with the next inhale, take your arms straight up, slight back bend, and exhale, hands together, heart center, make your way down. Take your feet back, high plank. With an exhale, chaturanga. With an inhale, slide forward, upward facing dog. Make sure your feet are pressing actively against the mat, top of your feet. With an exhale, make your way onto downward facing dog once more. Gaze at your feet. Let your head go loose. Push the ground away from you with your hand. With an inhale, your left foot is going to go up. Exhale, bring it forward between your hands. With an inhale, you're going to go for that crescent lunge. And with an exhale, plant your hands, bring the other foot forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. With the next inhale, you're going to sweep your arms up and come up into standing. Take that slight back bend if it feels good for you. Exhale, you're going to dive back down. Then inhale, take both your feet back, high plank. Then exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Then exhale, downward facing dog. So feel your spine awakening. You want to take your glutes up and back as if you want to sit on the corner where the wall meets the ceiling. Look forward, bend your knees, come onto your toes, float, jump, or walk to the top of your mat. With an inhale, halfway lift. With an exhale, fold. Then inhale, take your arms up above you, slight back bend if it feels good. And with an exhale, you're going to bend down, fold forward, straight again. Come up into high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Then inhale, upward facing dog. Really open your chest. And with that exhale, take another downward facing dog. Breathe. Look to the top of your mat, bend your knees, jump, float, or walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And with an inhale, with your arms straight next to your head, make your way up, bending your knees slightly. And with an exhale, dive back down. High plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Make sure your shoulders are away from your ears with an inhale, upward facing dog. And with an exhale, you're going to take downward facing dog. Breathing, releasing any tension. You're going to come back up onto high plank. We're going to take a couple of breaths here. In high plank, you want to take your ankles towards the wall behind you. You want to open up your chest towards the wall in front of you. You want to gaze just past the top of your mat. And then you're going to lift your right leg off the ground. Keep pushing the ground away from you with your hands. Your left leg is active. Your left foot is active. Your core is engaged. You're hugging your rib cage in. And then you're just, with the next exhale, going to swap your leg. Bring your left leg up this time. And the same thing, you want the left foot to be active, as if it wants to press the wall behind you. And we're going to hold high plank for a few minutes more. A few seconds, sorry, not minutes. You're going to come onto all fours. Take your knees at hip width apart. Your wrists are underneath your shoulders, and we're just going to go through some cat-cow. So with an inhale, take your head and gaze upwards, accompanied by your sacrum. And with an exhale, roll everything in, tuck your belly button, tuck your head. With an inhale, take your head up, your sacrum up. And with an exhale, roll everything in to come into cat. One last time, inhale, cow. Take your head as if it wants to touch your glutes. And with an exhale, roll everything in as if you want to touch your chin with your belly button. And take your own pace now. When you're ready, we're going to go for a side stretch. So you're going to keep the left knee bent and on the ground. You're going to take your right leg straight next to you. And with an inhale, you're just going to bring your left arm over and take a side stretch. Feel the whole left side of your body opening, and your right hand is either going to grab hold of your thigh or your shin. It helps you to open your right rib cage. With an inhale, come back into center, and we're going to swap sides. So you're going to keep the right knee bent, take the left leg out to the side. With an inhale, take the right arm up and across. Once again, your left hand is either going to grab hold of your left thigh or shin. You want to create space on both rib cages. So before you fold deeper, take a moment to try and grow. Next exhale, come back into center. This time, both the knees on the ground. Take your knees at hip width apart. Take your hands to your lower back. With an inhale, grow upwards. And with an exhale, bend backwards. Ustrasana, camel pose. So if you want, you can keep your hands on your lower back, or if you feel confident, you can go for your heels. So you want to bring your belly button towards the wall in front of you, accompanied by your thighs. Your chest wants to go up and back, accompanied by your head. And your hands really want to pull your feet towards you to create more space, to let you open up your chest. So with the next exhale, we're going to undo. Bring your hands back to your lower back, and we're going to rest in Virasana kneeling pose for a couple of breaths. This is a very intense back bend, so be gentle with yourself. Don't force anything. When you're ready, we're going to take camel pose once again. So bring your hands to your lower back. Inhale, grow up. Then exhale, bend backwards. And you can either keep your hands on your lower back or go for your heels. Remember, you want to bring your thighs, your pubis, and your belly button forward. You want your chest to grow up before you try and bend back a little bit more. You should also feel your thighs, your abs, your arms, everything working in this posture. Then exhale, we're going to undo, so bring your hands to your lower back once more and come to a kneeling position for a couple of breaths. Become mindful of your breathing. If you breathe correctly, this really helps you to perform deeper variations of each pose. The next inhale, we're going to prepare ourselves for the last round of Ustrasana, camel pose. So take your hands to your lower back. With an inhale, grow up before you allow yourselves to bend backwards with an exhale. Keep your core and your legs engaged. With the next exhale, you're going to bring your hands to your lower back, undo the posture, and go straight into Balasana, child's pose. Take your arms out in front of you, allow them to stretch, to relax. Allow your forehead to completely melt on your mat, releasing any tension on your head. And breathe. When you're ready, you're going to come onto downward facing dog. And this time we're going to dive right through into upward facing dog, bringing your elbows backwards, untucking your toes, pushing the ground away from you with your hands, and with the next exhale, come back into downward facing dog. Look to the top of your mat. Float, jump, or walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And with an inhale, you're going to make your way up into standing, taking a slight back bend if it feels good. Exhale, hands together, heart center. So now we're going to take a Padahastasana variation. So transfer your weight onto your left leg. Lift your right foot off the ground. You're going to grab hold of your right foot or your right leg with your left arm. So you're going to come into kind of a twist. Your right arm can either be on your hip or straight behind you. You can either be facing forward, sideways, or backwards, whatever feels more comfortable. Remember, your left leg is your pillar, so you want it to be as active as possible. If you can't fully straight out your leg, don't worry, you can keep it bent. The aim here is more to twist the upper body. And exhale, you're going to come back into center without bringing your right foot to the floor. We're going to transfer directly onto Virabhadrasana 3 or Warrior 3. So you're going to take your right leg straight behind you. You're going to start to come into a parallel with your torso on the ground. And your arms can either be out in front of you or on your hips or to the side. And with an exhale, bring your knee to your chest and bring your foot back down. Shake it out a little bit, and we're going to repeat this on the other side. So transfer the weight onto your right foot while you take an inhale, arms up, exhale, hands together, heart center. And when you're ready, lift your left foot off the ground. Grab a hold of your left foot with your right hand. Once again, coming into that twist. If you can't straighten your leg, there's no problem. Your left hand can either be on your hip or straight out behind you. Likewise, you can take your gaze in front of you, to the side, or behind you. Once again, remember that your right leg is your pillar, so you want it to be strong and active. Your right foot is pushing against the ground. With every exhale, see if you can deepen your twist. And next exhale, come back into center. Remember, keep your balance. Don't bring your left foot to the ground, and transfer directly onto Warrior 3 or Virabhadrasana 3. So find your drishti, your point of balance, your focal point. Take whatever variation of arms makes it easier for you to keep your balance. Keep your bottom leg engaged. And with an exhale, bring your knee back into center. And bring your left foot back on the ground. So inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Plant your hands, take your feet back, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Make sure your legs are active, your feet are pressing against the ground. And with an exhale, you're going to come onto your back. So lay on your back in a Shavasana pose. We're going to prepare ourselves to go into Sarvangasana, shoulder stand. So take your arms out by your sides, palms of your hands facing downward, center your head. And with an exhale, lift your legs, your glutes, and your lower back off the ground in one go, and bring your hands to your lower back. You want your legs to be active, your feet to be active. And you want the distance between your chest and your belly button to be as big as possible. If being up straight is too challenging, you can bring your knees towards your face and create a 45-degree angle. Press the shoulders and your elbows away from you on the ground to enable you to grow a little bit more in the posture. Maybe with every exhale, see if you can walk your hands down your back a little bit more. Try and keep a distance between your chin and your chest. And now you can directly transfer onto Settha Bandhasana, bridge pose. You might have to change the position of your hands for that. Or you can come down from Sarvangasana and then come up into bridge pose separately, whatever feels more natural. I like to come down straight away. Like this, I keep my hands underneath my hips. It gives me a deeper back bend. If you can't have your hands under your hips, bring your hands to your sides. This is completely fine. And with an exhale, bring your lower back to the mat. You're going to grab opposite shoulders above your head. Bring your knees towards your chest and then let them fall onto your right side, taking your gaze onto the left side. This gentle spine twist really is life. Try to keep your left shoulder on the floor. Breathe into your spine and your back, releasing any tension. The next inhale, come back into center. Take your knees onto the left side and your gaze onto your right side. Normally it's better to have your arms in a cross position, but I don't really have much space in this camera angle, so I kept them above my head, which is fine, but it's not optimal. Next exhale, bring your knees to your chest. Bring your feet to the ground. Bring palms of your feet to touch. Butterfly pose. Grab opposite elbows above your head and just breathe and relax. We've reached the end of our practice. I want you to take this moment to congratulate yourself for another challenging yoga class. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. May the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to that happiness and to that freedom for all. Namaste.